Strategy of pretending to sleep. Just a moment after that, Atsuna rewound Koyanagi's sash and her hair in a sloppy knot, making her look like a different person. Ah, I blame you. She was hanging around Atsu with a fan that wrote running well in one hand. It seems that someone who is traveling is not the one who is traveling to anyone's eyes, but as expected, the cuckoo of the highway was very eye-catching. Hey, sister. Immediately there are two flies-like ones, one that catches the fly through an empty stick, and one that sticks empty-handed later. How about, yeah, sister? Atsuna didn't turn around and walked using a fan. You're a noisy person. He glanced at him with a quick tongue. If it's noisy, don't get on it. It's easy to stay in Kusatsu over the ferry in the sun. On the day when I was doing colored contact lenses with Geta, it's going to be difficult to reach Atsu. Zay. It's a big help. Greetings from this guy. You're kindly teaching me, right? The kindness of Unsuk and the sesame flies is exempt from the map. Or if you have any kindness, can you push me to Nyanbashi in Edo? Yes, no matter what, as long as you stay overnight, whether it's Edo or Ashu, I don't hate it. Yes, but... Anyway, get on first. It's free. Even if it looks like this, I don't have money, I'll ride it if it's free. The two people, Unsuk, who were even more stuffy in the clear and over-the-top appearance, suddenly popped out the sky and rolled their arms apart. Don't be silly. I jumped like an eagle, but before I touched Atsuna's body, oh. And Unsuk made a noise. When I think about it, somebody grabs my collar and pretends to be Boone. Maggots on the highway, if you struggle badly, you won't die. Oh, I'm sorry. Looking up at his thick arm from below, his clothes are black hemp with a brown pattern, and although it is summer, he has a half-face wrapped in a black gauze hood, and the troop's skin is bitter. Atsuna, looking back. Oh, you're 10 knights, he said, returning 2 pairs and 3 pairs. Sunbei slammed Unsuk, who was clinging to his hands, toward Dawn. Oh wait, Mr. Sumiya. Atsuna gently and ironically called Unsuk, who escaped in a horrifying manner, with Mr. Sumiya. The highway streaks are the streets of raw horses, and you should be careful with your own body rolls before aiming at the other person's feet. When I smiled, I wondered if I was scooping up, and I swept my sweaty purse to pawn and my feet. I'll give you this kind of money because it's painful. But, I'll have to work honestly from now on. Oh, this guy's mine. Unsuk was taken aback, and when he picked it up, Toya's eyes were scared, and he ran away from the sky. Ho ho ho, Unsuk has no other love. Atsuna saw off and laughed brightly. Hey, put your hand on his shoulder, and Sunbei Toya. It's still quick. I hate it so much, so I made fun of it a little. But Toya-san, you met in a strange place. You may be surprised, but I don't know how much this Sunbei was looking for after the turmoil of Nuki and the mansion. Toya, which seems to be something, looks at Atsuna with a trolley like the iron color of that Saburo Sukahiro. When I thought it would be cloudy, the pine trees shining brightly, the sun leaking leaves from the pine trees lined up my shoulders, and the dazzling light and darkness fluttered behind Atsuna and Toya. Then, did you ask me so much after that fuss? I'd like to go out to Edo because of this. Ah, that might be good too. A man rolls into a woman, it may be a little opposite, but for the time being, I'm going to get into trouble with your house. It's easy, Atsuna will be a little confused when you return to Edo, so don't worry. Thank you, this made me feel calm. I was the one who calmed down. He smiled at his white teeth and turned his eyes to the sink, so Sunbei, who was so close to him, lost his breathing eyes. Hatena, the amorous Sunbei, has already made his favorite lewd butterfly dance in the darkness of his emotions, and he has a selfish imagination deep inside his heart. Atsuna's guy, this time it's a fool. There's an indescribable dew on my eyes looking at me with Jiro. A woman must be a woman, and a man must be wanted. Then, this money, unexpectedly fragile, may fall into me. I secretly remember the scent of Kiara, think of the meat, and even draw the dream of staying tonight. Speaking of which, Atsuna's hand touches Sanbei's finger from time to time as he walks. Here, as long as you hold your hand tightly and do it again, you are a woman, even if it seems to be a lie. In that case, there will be no sound of screaming. I'm sure I'll be struck by this strong force and embraced in my chest before I knew it. It's a sweet thing. After all, Atsuna also has a beginning. This Atsuna is a woman who is in the world, and is innocent to a man. Being in love with a man is innocent. A woman like Atsuna, at times, is ridiculously bloody to a man, rather than the original intention of a Gomorrhan woman, who is leaning into a deep window. Sanbei's emotional delusion is endless. Atsuna's clear bell-shaped eyes, crisply butted mouth, hair growth that looks like it was carved one by one, and the charm of the collar that you want to sift through are small. The flesh that has been cut off from the crotch will not be left behind the next morning if it is in my hands. Atsuna is superficially dressed in Zhang's sword, and all such vainness is taken off and shown to naked Atsuna. And if I tried to make this woman reborn during the 53rd stay? This is not the ratio of the pleasure of shaving Tsujijiri's blood to the blade of Saburo Sukahiro. Sanbei, the magical feeling of was just right. One day, a row of trees burst into the air, and the wind mixed with sand fluttered the hem of Atsuna, blowing away the illusion of Sanbei from behind. Oh, why don't you just drop it? Atsuna's Makoto was looking at the rushing sky of the clouds. Oh, Utachi cloud. Hey, I'm in trouble before I get to Atsu. I have no choice but to stay early. Oiwake is what you see over there. Both of us aren't in a hurry anyway. Oh. This guy isn't going to get off. While he said, a heavy rain was blowing diagonally, so they suddenly started running. Then, from behind, a hat was blown by the wind and blew over Atsuna's feet. There was a traveler chasing after Aaa. Atsuna looked back a little and thought that he was a man who looked at him when he seemed to hold down his dark blue legs and hat in a single striped robe, but all the travelers on the road were blown away by the rain and wind. The shadow was hidden in the scatter. Atsuna and Toya settled in a quiet hatago at the end of Oiwake. Atsuna got on a pillow with a shoji screen over the rain gutter and a blue lightning bolt. Next to the single threshold, Sanbei, who was drunk with Atsuna's flirty drink, was on the evening. I'm asleep. However, are you really sleeping? Is Atsuna also taking the obi strap from the truth and sleeping? Anyway, something invisible is passing through two pillows struck by a dim light. What will happen to the bargaining of pretending to sleep?